Jason. 25 years of practicing Zen. Now what? Okay, this month, September, 25 years ago, I started practicing Zen. I often receive questions about, all of these years of practicing, what did you attain, or what did you get, or what became clear? So let's talk about that. Also, I know today exactly where I'm going. It's one of my favorite places to hike, probably in the top 5. So let's go on a journey. All right, we made it. Castle Rock State Park. Now, this looks like the old parking lot. The last time I was here, I took the new parking lot. But I think the trails we want to go on are in here. So let's investigate. I'm not sure where to start, but I think we're going to go this way. Gathering of mushrooms or other plant life is prohibited in the park. I'm not sure what kind of mushrooms we're talking about. All right, here's the map. Where are we? We are here. I think I want to go to Goat Rock. Just sounded like an interesting name. So I believe we go that way. It's a really amazing day to be out. I'm really glad I came here today. I don't see the trail going any further here. Okay, let's see if this goes anywhere. Very interesting. Well, that was amazing. There's actually several people here now. When I was on the hike, I didn't see one person. I am near where I parked, and it's later in the morning, so maybe more people are hiking now. So, 25 years of practicing Zen. Actually, when I look at it, in one way, it's not very long. There's many people who've been practicing longer than that. But then when I look back over these 25 years, it seems like it's been a very, very long time. I want to share with you 3 things that I've learned, or 3 things that became clear over this practicing period. The first thing that became clear is if you want something out of practice or expecting something out of practice, you're going to be dissatisfied. Now, I know I have a lot of videos about this, but it's something that comes from my experience. Of course, most people I've encountered want something out of practice when they begin. I also wanted something when I started practicing. So those of you who read my book know that 25 years old, everything kind of fell apart. Lost my job, my relationship ended. I was playing music, but I was getting a lot of pain in my hands. And when I was looking around, I saw that people were searching something outside of themselves. And it started to look a little crazy because if they didn't get that thing, they weren't happy. And if they did get that thing, they couldn't keep it. Or they did get that thing and they wanted more, or they wanted it to be a little bit different. I was going through a lot of confusion, fear, I guess anger at this time. So I wanted to practice Zen to take away those strong feelings. And there's really nothing wrong with that, right? Just like if you have some kind of condition, that sometimes you take medicine to make it feel better, right? That's, I think, the first step. Because when I look back at that time, I had to practice in order to just do basic functions in life, like get up in the morning and go to work. I did a lot of bowing practice every morning, every evening. I moved into the Zen Center. 6 months later, I set my first 90-day retreat in Korea because I had to relieve this experience that wasn't very pleasant and actually was kind of getting in the way of me functioning just day to day. But later when I came to realize, I think when, the energy came down a little bit that, we're human beings. We have all different kinds of experiences. Now we happen to like some experiences and don't like other experiences, right? That's just a part of the human condition. But what I started really focusing on was how grateful I was over the years of practicing. From the first person who showed me how to tie a bowing robe, the first person who gave me meditation instruction, the people were always looking out for me on retreats, my teacher who was very patient, very understanding and loving through my practice. When I stopped kind of pushing away feelings and experiences or attaching to the ones I liked, I started to become very grateful for the practice and everybody in the Sangha. So when I talk about if you want something out of practice, it's just a natural result, right? Again, if you don't get it, you're dissatisfied. Maybe you get a very special experience, maybe a very clear or a deep insight. That won't last long. Or maybe you get a taste of it and you want more. I've had that experience during my solo retreat. Or you want it to be a little bit different. Everything's good, but only if this one thing changed, then I'd be satisfied, right? That's just the natural result of grasping. And the Buddha talks about that very clearly in his teachings. So I think from my experiences that I noticed that emotions always come and go, thinking always comes and goes. When our minds start to become more open and more clear, we start seeing the truth of the world and realize, we're not the only people who are dissatisfied. All human beings are dissatisfied and express it in different ways. So I think for me, it was really seeing that and realizing that this is our human condition and just being grateful for all of those who've helped me along the way. If we do want something out of practice, we can look at it honestly. Maybe we don't get it. Maybe we do get it. Maybe it's not what we thought. It really doesn't matter because ultimately it comes down to what's happening right now and how can we respond? Right? Even if we have some deep, clear experience, then what? That's a very interesting question. The second thing I realized over the years is that life doesn't become easier. Now, I've been talking to people when I'm doing one-on-one sessions with them, and I'm kind of explaining this a little bit more, right? I would say that maybe a better word instead of easier, that life becomes more clear. We start to become more clear about our habitual thoughts, our feelings, our habits, what we call our character. When we start paying attention to that, we don't hold on to it so much. We don't believe that it's us, but we can see that, maybe this is something I can use in my life from moment to moment. I think if we put a lot of energy, if it's easier, or is it getting more difficult, or I used to be clear and now I'm not clear, or my life is much better, we live in that opposites world. And we know from our experience that living in that world only causes dissatisfaction. I would have to say that through practicing, life has become more clear. Actually, this moment is clear because really, in reality, the moment is our life. And I think the third thing that I realized is life really doesn't make any sense. I was hoping when I first started practicing that my life would start to make sense, but it really doesn't. I think before I started practicing, life didn't make sense. You know, when I moved into the Zen Center and I went to Korea to see a 3-month retreat, that really didn't make any sense. When I became a monk, living in the Zen Center, that really didn't make sense. And now I have 2 kids and I'm married and all of these kind of like responsibilities and things to deal with. That really doesn't make sense either. But also becoming a teacher really didn't make sense. You know, I was first asked to become a teacher, I believe was 2008, somewhere around there. And it didn't make any sense. But I think what I realized was I was too attached to the definition, right? Like, this is a monk, and this is what a monk is supposed to be, and that's what I am. Or this is a musician, this is what a musician is supposed to be, and that's what I am. Or this is a parent, this is what it means to be a parent, and that's what I am. Or this is a teacher, this is what a teacher is supposed to be, and that's what I am. When we start looking or identifying with these things, it doesn't make any sense. And if it does make sense, soon, I guarantee, it won't make sense. One of the reasons why I became a teacher was to share this human experience. And I realized to me, that's what it meant to be a teacher. Someone a couple months ago asked me, I have a newborn now, and I was wondering, how do you do it? And I realized, you know what? I really don't know how I do anything. And I think from that place, that really keeps our mind wide open and very clear. Because once I have some idea about how to be a parent or how to teach or how to be a husband, that idea gets in the way of connecting to what's in front of me. And I talk about this a lot in my videos. If we're clouded with some view, there's no way we can connect. Zen practice is really about keeping a don't know mind. A don't know mind has a very open view. So if I'm encountering one of my children at that moment, I look at them and ask, who is this person? And something from that really opens up a lot, and I'm able to connect more. But once I think, I know what I'm going to say to them, I'm going to teach them or help them, that doesn't help. With me, I learned from my experiences about this. So keeping a don't know mind is the most important in our Zen practice. Zen Master Seungsang had a very interesting teaching that our life has no meaning, no reason, and no choice. And when I perceived that at 25, I thought there was no way out. So I didn't even know why I should get up in the morning, to be honest. But we have our practice. And when we have our practice, we connect with this world in a very human, organic way. And meaning appears by itself. And then our reason becomes more clear. And that choice means our life, creating this vow that not only my practice, my life is for all beings, which includes ourselves. Those are the things I wanted to share with you today. Let me know in the comments what your experience is from your practicing, even if you've been only practicing for a month. What's become clear to you? Before we go, I have one question for Jason that's very, very important. Jason, 25 years of practicing Zen. Now what?